Yo, what's up, good people? I'm still getting set up here. Happy Friday. Hope you're all feeling it. Got some good stuff brewing today. Thanks for just hanging out while I'm getting myself set up here. Yo, Saf, Sam Eagle, how the heck are you? Welcome back. Saf has a poll posted in the chat for those of you just arriving. This was posted earlier. He wants to know, Super Banger or Toy Piano? Says he wants to make some cool effects today. Sam Eagle says Toy Banjo, and I agree. Purple Pros, happy rainbows. How are you? And WJax, Dubjax, WJ Hacks. What name do you prefer? What's up, Foss? How you doing, man? Welcome, welcome. Inscape, hello. How are you? Welcome back. All right, so today we're going to be taking a look at XO. I've installed it, and I've pointed it toward a couple of folders on my machine. But I'll add a whole bunch more with you so you can see how this whole thing works. If you're unfamiliar with what XO is, it's this beastly thing. Some people call it a sample manager or browser, and some people call it a drum machine. It's both. I think of it more as like a highly creative sandbox environment for percussive discovery. I think it's about as flexible as it gets right now. And it's a freaking game changer. It's a little bit of coin to get into. They have a light version as well. And they sell elsewhere other than directly. You know, I like you to support directly, but, you know, it's for sale on all the usual suspects. I'll get some links for you. Windy, Maryland. Hey, Paul, how are you? It is gray today. It is one very flat smear of dense gray. So let me just pull up their website. You guys know XLN. They made Addictive Drums, RC20. We looked at RC20 again the other day. XO, it's been out for a while, and people do tend to compare it. To a couple other things, but I would say that this is its own beast, hands down. It scans your folders and brings in everything percussive, and then sorts them by type. And then you can scan through these, but that's just like the very tip of the iceberg, because you can then hot swap out of different kits and replace whole kits, run them all through MIDI clips in real time within the plugin, or it's also a standalone application. Bring it right into your DAW, bounce into folders outside of your DAW, whatever your workflow is, they've got you covered. So it's a pretty all-inclusive thing. It's pretty nice. So for those who are already familiar with this and just haven't grabbed it, hopefully we can make this into a treat for you. And those who are just seeing it for the first time, hold on, it's awesome. Yeah, it is like a particle cloud. And if you have a lot of sounds, I have a lot of sounds. We're not going to plug them all in. I plugged in a couple of folders when I installed this last night, but I haven't done anything with it. Still get the startup splash here. It says sweep through space with your mouse or trackpad. All the colored dots are one-shot samples, organized by how similar they sound. Use the arrow keys on your keyboard to move around in the similarity lists. So it's constantly analyzing whatever you're currently, what you currently have selected, or what you're currently using, or what you've currently filtered all of the results down to. It's pretty flexible in how you engage with it. And then it's constantly making these suggestions that are largely similar to said sound or set of sounds. So load your samples of choice into a slot, tweak your sound, and make a beat on the edit page right here. Drag and drop your samples and beats from the export panel. And there's also a manual, which I've got open here if we end up running into questions. It's a rather deep piece of kit, but I'd rather just go explore. And this is nutty. This is just nutty. There's a lot of sounds. It's highly, highly responsive. And it's just super, super neat. So what we're going to do is just take a look at adding some more sounds to this first. And then we're just going to make a whole bunch of beats today. And I figured, you know, this is going to be perhaps maybe a little mundane on one side for some people because, you know, it's not like highly melodic or anything. But beats can be super funky and fun. So I figured we'd spice things up by just incorporating XO into actual workflows, right? Make some cool little twisty, bendy break beats and stuff. And yeah, maybe we'll make some really funky arcade kits. But, you know, I'm a drummer, so we'll probably blaze through just a ton of beats today. So yeah. This should be quite a bit of fun. I've added, so it comes with some core content, and then I've added samples from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 folders, which added up to, I don't know, 18,000 more sounds or something. The core content is 8,746 samples currently. And what I thought I would do is just also add to this. Here, why don't I see what I want to add here. I'm thinking we should probably keep this somewhat tame. Maybe we'll just add stuff from the drums and the general kind of world directories. So let's do that. I've already got one called drums, huh? Oh, we'll see what it does when I drop in a second one called drums. I think I can just drag and drop here. I don't think I actually have to use all the buttons. This is probably going to be a huge undertaking here. It's thinking about something. I wonder if this is better run in standalone. I guess we're going to find out. It's thinking on something. Must just be very large here. All right, and I think we'll add the world stuff too. That will be ridiculously large. It's really thinking. What's going on? It's been quite a while since Logic just sat. Yeah, Paul, it actually can, because you can sync Loop Cloud content. You can, whatever you're bringing in, downloading from Loop Cloud or Splice or whatever. And then you can manage everything from this one environment, which is really awesome. Oh, okay. Well, it's back. It must have been really, really working. I'm really not even sure if it actually added it. Let's see here. Drums. I only see one drums in there. Maybe what I should do is just pull it up in standalone mode really quick. That's what I will do. Oh. I'll just turn that off for a sec. Okay. All right, let's try this again. Drums, 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 drums. Drums. There we go. All right, so I've just added that. You can see it's like super, super responsive. I'm also going to add this one. These are probably pretty big asks. But we'll see how it handles it. These are on an external. They're rather large directories. It's going to have to grind on one of them for a bit, I bet. Just out of curiosity. Yeah, it's pretty big. All right, so once you add a directory, whether small or big, all you have to do is hit scan and refresh, and it will run through its little thing here. And I added packs of varying size. I added a few packs that were about 50 sounds each, and it took like maybe a second to actually import and sort them all. I added one that was more than 500. I can kind of see it peeking through here, just over 600 actually. And that thing took like just a couple of seconds. It was actually pretty impressive. And they're instantly available for sorting and whatnot. And there's a filter and a search feature which allows you to really zero in on stuff. It's absolutely fantastic. So I added some very specific like pack pathways, right? So it's pointing to individual sound packs, so I can show you like the power of the sorting and the filtering, because it really truly is amazing. And this can also be used for, you know, if you're doing a lot of sound design for UI stuff or video game stuff or Foley work or even glitch stuff. All the short form sounds. It's just a fantastic way to discover or rediscover stuff that you've probably had for a really long time. So while that's doing its final import there, I think maybe what we'll do is see if there is a, yeah, I bet that video probably sums it up, because there's also, oh, here we go. We'll just look at this. I think that the other part is kind of self-explanatory. But there's also the whole back end of this thing, which is a drum machine. It's a sequencer. And it's, again, it's really highly focused on hot swapping and discovery. So it's constantly putting in front of you other pattern possibilities or different sounds that you can hot swap in and out of these things, and the various ways that you can mix and match them all. So let's just take a look at this really quick while that loads. That was the quickest little video ever. Javar, I don't think it did merge them, because I actually have them coming from two different places on the drive. So, so big differences between the light and the regular version is number of sounds, multi-outs, number of presets. The presets are the actual sequence presets, the MIDI basically. file formats, obviously different. It's just WAV and AVE for the light. All the usual suspects for the full version. And it looks like you can export a beat as MIDI or one shots that are raw as WAV. But in the full version, you can actually output everything as WAV or MIDI process or unprocessed, one shot or full stem. It's pretty darn great. Live filter mode, live disk monitor, and samples shortlist for the full version. It's just flippin' awesome. It's just a really awesome thing. So while this is scanning through the ridiculous number of recordings of people doing awesome things with drums, I'm going to pull up a couple of other tools that we'll probably want to jump into. We'll probably want to use Arcade, I would imagine. And we might want to use Alchemy today. We may want to use, I don't really want to use another drum machine. I'd rather just use this one today. And maybe just a general instance of reaktor too. We'll just keep this on a stereo here. Jumpslick, how are you? Thank you for joining, and thank you for the raid. All right, so we'll play with each one of those. I don't really want to fire up XO in here while it's still doing the scan in the back. This is amazing, though. If I go back over to see how big this is, it's probably fairly jaw-dropping, really. Let's see here. It's not even calculated. Yeah, these are very, very, very large directories. It's going to be interesting to see just how big. I went with a few small packs as well, because when you're using the hot swap features, and they don't really call this out like in a deep explanation, but they say things like find your sound faster, and they're constantly referencing the similarity feature, which is really what the whole thing is kind of engineered around, right? Sounds of similar sorts flock together in this ecosystem, and what they don't put right up front is the fact that it's also constantly referencing whatever you've searched for and whatever filters you have in place. And it's a rather intuitive set of tools. You can see here you can choose from categories, you can filter by main frequency, and these are adjustable points inside of a slider on either end of a slider. Length of the actual sample, and drumminess. So when it's to the far left, you can get like synth tones and stuff that are percussive, or just weird sound design type stuff. And then all the way over to the right is your more traditional acoustic type drums, electronic stuff being kind of in the middle. And then here's why I did both large and small sample folders for this. So you can see you can turn these on and off in Space, and Space is the main visual browser component of XO. So it takes what is a very, very overwhelming thing, and makes it very, very accessible. and presents it all in a way that you're constantly looking at your stuff that you've forgotten about, right? Or it allows you to quickly test it in beats that you never would have picked those sounds for that type of beat before. So it's just brilliant for discovery. And then exporting is great. So when you hit the export button, it looks like a little share icon. You quite literally have this put in front of you. This right here is all of the sounds in your drum rack or drum kit that you've created, both raw and processed, right? You can drop the entire raw kit or the processed kit. You can drop all the stems at once. You can drop it as a complete unified beat, as a wave, or as a MIDI file. You even have normalization options. Running this in a standalone or as a plugin, if all you do is make beats, you really don't have to have anything else to do this. It's really quite incredible, and the sound is amazing. And you can set up different export folders to really kind of streamline your whole workflow. But it's amazing, and you can see stuff rendered just instantly. And then presets. So you build presets, you save presets, and then you start building playlists. And playlists are collections of presets. And the reason why they have this playlist feature is because you can constantly swap out new sounds in any beat at any time, a la carte or en masse. And it's just crazy because sometimes when you switch the right kind of sounds, it sounds like an entirely different, it sounds like music instead of just a beat, or, completely glitched and mangled instead of, pristine and acoustic or something. So, anyway, you can group these presets together in these playlists, and then call them things, and then you can, that are, descriptive as to what kind of sounds might work well with them, right? Instead of describing what kind of beat it is, if that makes sense. It forces you to think about making beats and using percussive sounds in a different way. So yeah, helpful manual. And it looks like we are just about done with this massive scan. It's all done with all the world percussion. And the drums have just completed. And so now, it's an even more ridiculous number of sounds. And if we go to our little magnifying glass here, actually, let's magnify this whole thing. UI scaling. I bet you guys can see that a lot better now. So this is our search and filter feature. And we can zoom in and out in our universe. There are currently 40,000, almost 41,000 samples in here currently. So I only added 2 more directories off the external drive here. You can zoom way in. We can say, all right, I don't want anything except for sounds from trinkets. How do you like trinkets? So we could come in here and pick out a preset, for instance. And then we can swap it out with sounds from trinkets. Or I could change my mind and say, I really don't want any of those. Maybe just like world percussion and stuff. Find a different preset to start with. And maybe I only want to pull stuff in from my modular percussive stuff. Maybe just found sounds. Maybe just sound designy type stuff. Yeah, so it's just this crazy world of just constant discovery with this thing. So IDM, yeah. Oh man, yeah, absolutely. This would be just like a video game if you could fly through this space, right? It's very, it's got that super futuristic kind of feel to it. All right, so I think we should probably, let's jump out of this. Let's just quit out of XO and jump over to Logic where I currently have it loaded. And let's zoom this here as well so you guys can see this a bit better. Cool. Yo, what up, Ricky? All right, so I think we should crank out a whole bunch of beats and then kind of explore the power of being able to export just an infinite number of stems, individual ones, right? And then processing them in a multitude of different ways and then layering them back together to arrive at really unique, awesome music making goodies. You know what? I honestly don't know if this is on sale or not. Let's go check. This was actually sent to me by the excellent people over at XLN. Shout out to Peter. Where's the buy button on this thing? Maybe I'm just looking past it. Oh, I see. It doesn't give me a purchase option because I own it. Okay, that makes sense. Welcome to Smart Web, right? Okay. I don't know if it's on sale here right now or not, but there is also Plugin Boutique, and they oftentimes run sales. If not, they've always got the dealio. It's usually, yeah, it's like a couple $100. Here, let me see what kind of code I have for you guys. Okay, so it looks like if you grab it from Plugin Boutique right now, you can get Carbon Electra, and that might be the best option available. Here is a direct link for that. Carbon Electra is pretty awesome. It's a nice synth. It is fun. All right, so let's get back to this and just start making some stuff. Let's start with maybe just a preset, and then we'll kind of spin out from there. Let's get away from all their stuff really quick. Let's just turn off all of theirs. There we go. Let's say we like this, but let's go into the editor and start messing with some of this stuff. Let's turn on this track. And let's grab something for that one. we turn all these on en masse? Can we do that? We have to turn them on individually. How do I get this to a triplet? Oh, I see. Click and drag. So this is pattern A. So where's B? There's B. We've got this accentuator down here. Let's play with this thing. All right, cool. So just wrapping my mind around all the routing here. So we've got our FX sends 1 and 2 for each track running in our beat. And then we can manage what the effects is loaded in there, whether it's a reverb or a delay. And let's just see really quick if we can, what is this? Reverb, slap, ambience. Oh yeah, we can load the same thing in too. That's nice. That is handy. Nice. Make quick toppers. yeah, we do have a global swing. Nice. Excellent. Let's keep our hi-hats straight. All right. Oh yeah, we're definitely gonna hit the dice. What's up, Sev? How are you? Um, Before we actually start hitting the dice and getting all random, let's just play with the export function really quick so we stay highly productive in this outing. This is a 2-bar set. Let's see if it's outputting a single bar for each or a 2-bar render. Let's find out. I'm assuming that it's going to do a 2-bar render because we've got this chain of AB. Ooh, and it's got an AAAB option as well. That is nice. All right, so let's render these waves. To save, click the export button, click this little pulsing render waves button that looks very tempting, and you can see it just bounces all of them. And then as soon as you choose what you're going to put out there, it will toss it into a pre-built or a pathway that you've already put in there for a save folder. And you can do that here. You can set a folder, you can open a folder. So I think what we'll do is we'll take all of these stems. Let's just take all of these. So just quite literally click and drag over. So you don't even need to worry about setting this thing up as like a multi-out or whatever, right? Because you can just drop stems. So if we, this was a 96 natively here. So yeah, it dropped a 2-bar. And let's just go check that folder. So that would be in samples under XO. 96 ppm, 2 bars. Yeah, so we didn't normalize or anything. We left this as just, individual stems. You can also take the individual one-shots, the raw kit and the processed kit out as well, which are super handy for building fast kits in a tool that you're really comfortable with. So, if you're a machine user or, maybe a battery user or something, or Ultrabeat, it's super, super easy to build kits. Let's say that you're using something completely different though, right? Everyone is moving to these more kind of holistic solutions. A lot of them have some kind of like subscription service. But if you strip away everything that they're giving you in addition to the actual tool, and you just look at the tool itself and not what they're pumping into you or into your ecosystem sound wise, and just take a step back, oftentimes you'll realize that it's a completely customizable tool that you can use to mess up your own stuff in pretty unique ways. So I guess we just did this one. Maybe we should do 2 really quick. Let's take, so this whole thing, there's a couple of different ways that you can randomize things, like I was mentioning before. One of the ways is taking advantage of this little navigation tool down here. When we were in the edit window previously, I just accept this change. When we were in the edit window previously, under the, it was in the browser. It was in here. And you can see these little dots, right? In these little circles. Well, the little dots are indicative of a sound that is similar to the one currently selected in your kit, and it does that for each one of the sounds. Now, this over here will continue to do the same thing, but it's going to be in proximity within the cloud itself. So if we go back over to the cloud and we take a look at this, it's going to be grabbing the next most similar thing to it in its direct orbit. That is within the confines of whatever search and filter you've already applied to your journey as well. So I'm just going to play this back. It's going to be using the sounds that we just had. And we'll drop them in right after this. Just see what this change is like. I'm going to do that again. Yeah, maybe this one. Maybe this one. It's similar enough, sound-wise. I'm also going to save this really quick, so we can start bouncing stuff freely. Happy birthday! It's my father's birthday today. I'm going to keep audio files in this one just in case. All right, so we're going to do the same thing that we just did a second ago. We're going to open up our export dialog. We're going to hit render waves. And this time I'm going to drop these in here. Wait, can I just... Actually, I'll just grab them from here. Rather than create confusion for myself. Can I use these? I guess it's all the same. So, use existing tracks, yes. So kick 1, and come up here next to kick 1, and so forth. So we'll listen to these back to back, but what I'm thinking is that for each export that we do, we should just bump over to a similar kit suggestion 1 or 2 times to get a similar sound, and then just build a kit out of these things each time. Yeah, okay, so let's do that. So let's go into Arcade. And I'm just going to grab all but this last one. There's 15 slots that you can load into inside of Arcade. We've just bounced a total of 16 stems, so I'm just going to not include the very last one. Drop them all in here and see what these sound like. Besides a little bit quiet, because we did not normalize them. Maybe we should just borrow some presets really quick. Right, so now we've got this kind of a la carte beat making thing. We can just mix these things up however we like. Offset your timing. Get some really, really interesting results that way. Noel, how are you? Good to have you here, homie. Hope you're doing well today. Guy, welcome. You guys must have just wrapped up over there, huh? How was it? All right. So this is actually a pretty usable workflow then, right? We'll speed that up and see if we give ourselves like maybe a 30-second limit for each 2-bar stem. So maybe a 2-minute total limit for tweaking and bouncing, and we can get them into a kit. Let's do a pre-made kit. Let's just do a little hacking here really quick, shall we? Let's go into lines, and let's just take. Maybe we should grab a beatbox one. Whatever Backpack Gladiators is, I'm not even going to listen to it. I'm just going to hit play. I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to grab these same exact samples, and I'm going to drop them right inside of Arcade here. And we're just going to use all of the macros and programming that's already been done. All right, so that's the first step of this, right? The second is to take advantage of all the programming that's already been done with the resequencing. So let's just click into one of these and see exactly what we've got going on here. Yeah, see, instant toppers, right? What we should do is go into some stuff that I've actually made that we can, so we can really kind of take advantage of it. By the way, there's a brand new line that we just put out for those of you who haven't checked it yet. It's called Taped. It's freaking rad. Let's do, maybe we could do some stuff inside a drip. I made a bunch of stuff for this one. All right, so let's drop those. Wait a minute, why didn't that load? There we go. And let's grab those same exact samples. We'll drop them into this kit. Oh, it's quiet. we've got a voice limit on this one. Let me just up that voice limit really quick. Let's take this all the way up to 15. All right, let's take it into one more, and then we'll jump back. We'll make a whole bunch of beats. Oh, you know, it'd be fun. All the stuff that I built for the passport line. I mean, all of these would do. Yeah. Yeah, I think that this is going to be like a topper playground. All right, let's go bounce a whole bunch of beats, shall we? Ah, look at that. Some extra love from Foss going to Noel for some feedback. Gotta love the community. And Saf, kicking down more subs, dude. Thank you. Thank you. You know, Foss, I was really digging what you do on your channel. Not just the sounds, but the fact that you're giving constant shout outs to peeps that you love on Twitch. I think I might borrow this idea from you and just randomly spotlight people. If any of you want to be in that group, let me know, and I'll build a timer for you in here. No, it's fun. And you know, it's not just arcade too, because like Loop Cloud has got one. It's just that arcade is a little bit different because it's specifically geared towards playing multiple loops as a synth, and then just embracing the fact that it's not really about the original playback that most people are concerned about. It's more about like the modifiers and how that actually all works. Yeah. It's pretty awesome. And Javar, see, I didn't even know that you were streaming too. What are you doing on your channel? M is me, of course. You can always lurk. A lot of people sit here and lurk. In the magic sauce inside of arcade? Is that what you're referring to there, Noel? If so, it's I think the key is getting into the teenage mindset with arcade. Think of it as actually going to the arcade and dropping a nickel in and just playing to play and not like trying to get high score or anything, right? Just like oh, we'll see what this game is about kind of a thing, and then you may or may not be into it, so you go to the next thing and you drop a nickel in, right? You're going to spend the whole day at the arcade. You'll find a few that you really like. That's how I feel about arcade, because when you go to an old nickel arcade or something like that, right? Like some days this one game really grabs your attention and you can riff on it for a couple of hours, and then other days not so much. But if you just go into it with a blank canvas mindset, um, and just seriously just play like fluidly with the modifiers and stuff, it's just fun. Not every single kit is like out of this world on every single key, but most of them have something pretty great lurking in there. You just kind of have to find it. But I think that the real magic really comes when you start tossing your own stuff in there, as is usually the case. Oh, Paul, that's fantastic. How has streaming been going on your end? Dark ambient and cinematic stuff yesterday. Well, I've got to check it out, Javar. Absolutely. Let's make beats. Let's do something completely different. Is anybody else out there into the books? I freaking love the books. Um, that just totally reminded me of them. This one is weird, and I like that. So Let's export this thing at 98. Let's render those. Does that actually bounce them into the folder, or do I have to drag the stems? Which one does it? Must be when I drag them. Come on now, get in there. So all I have to do is touch it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I must have had one of them muted, perhaps. Yeah, this one. All right, let's do another one of these. Okay, that's really weird. I'm going to do that one as well. It's nice that all I have to do is just touch this button. It does all this magic. Now, why no stem here? Oh, I guess I don't really have anything programmed there. That's why. Okay. Fair enough. All right, so we've got 14 here. Guess we don't need a 15th on this one. Oh, let's just put arcade on this track as well. And let's do the same thing that we were just doing. Let's just grab something really weird. Maybe like an after hours kit. Play roulette here. All right, let's bring in those samples. All right. That's fire right there. Whoo! Yeah, Noel, if you're still here, I think this is the secret sauce of arcade. Once you really start feeling comfortable with what the controls are actually all about, putting your own stuff in there, even if you're just like opening up a pre-existing kit and putting your samples in there and then using all the macros and the resequencing stuff that's already been set up. Yeah. Yeah. Paul, how many videos are you up to now? Oh, thank you, Javar. Yeah, I'll definitely check out your stuff and let you know what I think. Ooh, yeah. I would like to see you play with the Droney player as well. Whoa, guy. I'm just catching up with your stuff. Wishing you could stream some of the weird stuff. Ghost hunting stuff, huh? Dude, I'll tell you what. If you were uh, streaming that kind of stuff, I bet guys like myself and Foss and Javar and Paul would score this stuff live for you. Is there a way for us to like do simultaneous streams together? That would be a chilling experience, right? Burning your house down and throwing some sage on it. Your house fire will smell great. Oh man, Saf is kicking down today. Three subs back to back to back. Welcome into the family, Javar, and welcome back, Space Bats and Guy. Whoa, whoa, whoa. So Purple Pro's like the whole city of Burnaby is haunted? Well, I mean, I guess if ghosts and spirits are real, I guess all cities are probably haunted, huh? But seriously, like the whole thing? Space bats, yeah, you've got to have a dose of intention in there to make it feel like you're progressing in some way, huh? Make stuff for the community until you figure it out. Like if it's audio stuff that you're working on, just make the stuff and give it away. If that's, I mean, if it gives it a feeling of um, purpose or direction, until you figure out what it actually is that you want to be doing with it long term. Oh, you can do the multi streaming. Well, I guess through the power of Zoom and stuff, you could do it pretty easily as well, as long as there wasn't too much production work. Well, okay, now that's freaky. So Purple Pros, you're like sitting in your living room, and then out of nowhere, someone starts speaking a different language, and you're alone. Is that is that kind of? Oh man. Oh man. Oh man. So you're there cleaning up the audio. Part of the stuff that you have to clean up is like, okay, dude, bang that one more time. Oh, wait, wait, wait. You're saying that a. Oh, wait, hold on. I'm still catching up with this. So, dude is alone, and someone's messing with him in there. That's messed up. What? Oh my God. Opens your closet door, throws stuff in the kitchen, most notably the dish drainer. Wow. Whoa. You know what would be really interesting is to actually stream you working on that stuff, dude. Seriously. Like, it'd be great promo stuff for their channel too, right? Like you getting scared out of your chair while you're working on this stuff. Man. Hmm. Man, yeah, that would I bet people would tune into something like that. Just having the chance to see um oh, maybe I'll leave those other ones in there for right now. Just having a chance to see how stuff like that is worked on, but then to boot, just having someone scared while they're working on this stuff is I don't know. That's fascinating. I think people would become obsessed pretty quickly, honestly. Man, there are so many presets in here. It feels like there's more than there are because you can swap so much stuff out continually. Oh, by the way, I've got a potential opportunity for someone who is a DSP ninja, mobile centric, please. If you know anyone looking for a new gig, I've got a project that's it's well funded, it's underway. It would be steady and long term, and a fairly controversial uh, platform that will probably end up being a ton of fun and change some stuff. If you are well experienced, give me a shout. It's too easy to come up with cool stuff with this tool. I'd imagine that the people who are only making beats, um, They just open this thing and they see dollar signs. You probably make your money back a couple times over on day one. Oh my goodness. All right, that's one more streaming trouble taken care of. Have an attenuator cab and mic IR box coming. Ah, cool. You know, space bats, there's also, I know it's very limited in what you can load, but if you're using Streamlabs, there are a few plugins, um, limiter, um, there's a noise gate, um, little noise remover, de-esser, a couple little things. If you get them all dialed in just right, they sound all right. Well, I hear what you're saying, Guy, but also like people tune into wrestling more than like anything right now, and I mean that's as fake as it gets. So I think people just like to be entertained. I think that's what it is. Um, your junior high school too. Yeah, yeah. JP Thomas, that's right. You know, some of the weirdest haunting stuff I ever experienced was at Edgefield. There is this place, for those of you who have been to the Pacific Northwest, the McMiniman brothers have a whole bunch of different pubs and properties, and I was a chef for them at their big like hotel properties. And I was based out of Edgefield, which is like this old poor farm from way back in the day, and it's been um, I guess kind of encapsulated in a way. There's art on all these properties, and um, the artist who does the large majority of everything and did everything back then only worked at night because there was weird stuff happening constantly. Um, he ended up making all of these murals and paintings all over this place, and then a while after the place was open, we're working on an expansion project, and these people come through on like this little reunion tour thing. Um, and there were these people that had ties to the people that were living in this poor farm there back in the day. And they're pulling out like photo albums and stuff, and the people in the pictures are people in the paintings. Let that sink in for a minute. This dude is painting dead people who used to live there. The same thing ended up happening when we opened up another property several years later, out in a completely different town. So one's out in this town called Troutdale, which is like east of Portland. This other one is out in this town called Forest Grove, which is west of Portland. It's an old Masonic temple. Um, and the Masonic temple turned into a Masonic home. And then when it reached a certain point, there was a new kind of assisted living facility that was built right behind it. Long story short, like some souls were lost in that building, right? Same kind of thing happens there. There's like these people in these pictures, these paintings, and these scenes and like these tile mosaics and stuff that actually occurred, and it's just creepy. And I didn't know how much I really bought into all of it when I was first starting out at Edgefield. There's this thing that kind of runs through a lot of the McMiniman brother properties, and that is that many of them are supposedly haunted. Um, One of the pubs in North Portland is like one of the most apparently most well documented places in all of North America, for things having happened over the many years. But anyway, back to Edgefield. I'm walking through the basement, which is where all the wine barrels are kept for aging, and it's like where employee lockers are to dress down before shifts and whatnot. So I'm going down there, and this happened on more than one occasion. Someone walks across um, the hall, like right. next to me, like right adjacent to me. And so I, of course, pop my head around the corner, like, hey, you're not supposed to be down here because this is a hotel property. And every once in a while, someone gets really, really drunk or high and ends up trying to get into like the employee only areas. So, we're down there where we see someone, we're supposed to tell them, hey, you're not supposed to be down here. And there were a few times where I walked, I put my head around the corner to tell this person that they're not supposed to be there, and there's nobody there. But there was somebody there. Like there was, it wasn't one of those things like, hey, did I just see something? It was more like I just watched this person walk past, um, which was really weird. I didn't know exactly how I felt about a lot of that stuff before those things happened. But there were some really like creepy things that happened while I was there. Uh, I haven't even thought about that stuff in a really long time. Um, Purple Pros, I've completely forgot about the JB Thomas stuff. Um, Man, our friend Casey uh, had a really crazy encounter with a few of our friends, shared friends, Purple Pros. You might even know these stories, but man, one story in particular, it still has these guys talking about it all these years later. It's like 30 years later, and they're still talking about it. Man, Imaginate. How are you? How you doing, brother? Man, you guys been busy doing Ableton things. Nice. I hear you, Space Bats. Mic and an amp. Not what they originally thought of with Twitch, right? Yeah, I was really expecting more from OBS on the plugin front, honestly. Nice, Danny. Nice. M is me. Are you in the beautiful Pacific Northwest as well? Portland here. Man, someone brings up Satan, and within 1 second, someone hails Satan. Every damn time. You guys ever notice that in chat rooms? Like someone mentions Satan, and next person's like, hail Satan. There's just this. It's like this ongoing joke. Keyboard cadet game. Oh my gosh. Yeah, dude. If you have something new to put ears on, please put a link in the chat or send me a file or something. You want other people to hear it or just me? Pat. Oh, dude. Yeah, you're bringing back memories, Purple Pros, that I haven't thought of in a very long time. Yeah, yeah, Paul. One night we were really drunk and high when. Oh, man. Oh, hey, where are you, M is me? Um, Oregon, Washington, Canada. You're in Seattle. Nice, Javar. Yeah, we've got the entire length of the five represented here. I am Imaginate is down in the LA area. Purple Prose is up north in BC. You're in Seattle. Emma's somewhere. Okay, cool. I'll put it on the stream then. Ricky, nothing is private anywhere or anymore. Somewhere is perfect. Good. Excellent. Um, yeah. Yeah, Guy. Uh, dude, hook us up with some weird, freaky stuff and we'll make it weirder and freakier yet. All right, I'm eager to hear what Danny is working on right now. So, let me just go find that. For those of you new to what Imaginate does, uh, sit down. Danny, I love you, man. You're amazing. Man. Danny. Big love, homie. This is so totally worth the wait. I know you've been grinding on this a long time. This is so totally worth the wait. Um, there were only a couple of things that stood out to me as like, oh man, there's something. Um, and yeah, what everyone else is saying in here too, like, it's just freaking amazing, right? Um, so first off, just stop what you're doing, get a day job. Man, the releases in this, that first one, I'm thinking, man, I think the low end is just, it's starting to get a little bit carried. This is intense. I'm having a hard time. And then boom, it's just gone. Love it. So around 5 minutes where you've got this really busy spot right here. I want more clarity from the drums and maybe even like an underlayer of taikos on those toms or something just to give it added um, oomph, because everything else has so much oomph in that moment. It's like such this massive crescendo and everyone is just like, ah! Um, Something to help those drums actually stand not necessarily on top of everything, but I mean these hits are just, they're so dramatic and epic, and they're just slightly buried in this spot. Maybe if you put just a little taiko, like a strong taiko, like transient strong, underneath those toms or something. Well, it's just the sheer number of things that you have. You could potentially drop maybe two things in that mix, maintain the overall intensity, and gain clarity too. Pick two things, right? You've probably got a layered pad in there, like take off half that pad or take off the bottom end of the entire thing. Um, um, it's tough, right? But in those spots, you can also think, you can think more of like a live engineer at this point too, right? Think orchestral pit, and about how sometimes you might have to offset players in opposite positions just to get the width and the clarity for the people sitting first chair in the different sections. So what I mean, or what I mean by that is, play with the pan positions to provide the priority status for the different elements in that one section. Everything's coming to this massive, massive crescendo. But really, it's the drums and it's the guitar that really just need to carry everything. So other things can actually move more to the side than they are right now. And you've got some of those drums out just a little bit and they could come in. And I bet if you put something heavy underneath those toms, like a taiko, it would have to be something hard and sharp. And I say that about a taiko because it's hit with drums, right? Or I mean with sticks, but it can't be something like a timpani. It's too soft. The mallet is, but something to really bolster those. And the transient would have to be thick, which again is why I kind of come back to that taiko idea. So maybe that would. Yeah, and if you've got multiple, if you've got like layered time-based effects in there on any of those tracks, that might be a good area to eliminate a good chunk of that, just for the sake of clarity, knowing that the volume of all of the individual elements will fill that space. That would probably be a really good way to save on frequency real estate at that point, I think. Just because you've got a lot of stuff swirling from the original signals already, right? Would I do sidechain ducking with these? Well, you know, ducking very specific frequencies when drums are hitting is one thing, but when you've got a massive, I mean, this is very orchestral here. And what you can't do with volume attenuation in this type of music is what you would normally do with electronic music, right? Which is make an audible pump, and that's not going to work for this, right? So you can duck some stuff to get it out of the way, but honestly, it's not just a volume mix thing. It's a proximity thing, right? A stereo space thing. I mean, and it's just a bit of a clamor when all of these things are so excited at the same time. That's really all it comes down to. And you can't take away the large majority of any individual component, or you lose that kind of frenzied energy. And that's what this whole thing is building towards for 5 minutes, right? So I think that you've got to really protect that, which I'm sure is why it makes it a big head scratcher. But um, I could do the taikos for you, homie. If you don't see me send you something today, ping me and I will. I'll try not to let it slip. I've got sessions right after this that kind of wrap up the rest of the day for me. So if you don't see something from me in the next day or so on that front, hit me up. All right, what else did I have for you? So yeah, the drums are a bit buried in that one spot. And then at right before 6, as we dip out of this, and you've got the little snare drum build slash fill right here, it feels just a little bit too electronic. And and on that note, I would also say, and this caught my ear at the very, very end, the guitar tail, the processing seemed a bit digital in the fade, but we'll come back to that in just a sec. This one spot in the snare. There are points at is there more than one snare working in these different sections? I'm interested to know. Because if there is, I would think that biasing towards the acoustic sound. If there isn't, then there's something interesting going on in the overall mix here. The 2 drop snares and during the piano solo. Oh, right. Yeah, I would potentially use one of your other more acoustic leaning, like in character. It felt just as punchy, but a bit more real world. And I think it might fit better right there after all of those guitars. And then the only other thing that I really noticed in this, and also super nitpicky, just like the snare, is right at the very end. I think it might be a combination of the distortion cabinet and reverb. I kind of wish that had like, I don't know, I needed a second just to breathe after that. What if it had like, instead of just like a 3-second fade with that rain, what if it had like a 30-second? Like just a moment, you know? Yeah, sorry, I don't mean to like stick something in your ear, but at the same time, it stood out to me, so I'd feel like a complete ass if I wasn't honest with you about it. So yeah, exactly. You do. You need to step out into the rain, like you need to walk out of the club. How many people have been there, right? You have this insane show, and the very first thing you need to do, or you feel like you're just going to explode or something, is just burst out the back door and stand in the like cold rain for just a minute, you know? I think that's it. Ooh, Paul's feeling the piano vibe, huh? That's very that's very like Faith No More. Oh man, Mike Patton is a freaking hero. Ricky's got a link for us. I will click on this link. Danny, though, seriously, this is just flippin' epic. I hope you keep teasing more of these here on the stream so everyone can get excited with you as you're ramping up to the release of the stuff. This is just flippin' great, dude. I feel like the intensity level of this one is through the roof. This is the same one that I heard like over a year ago, right? Yeah, I like the idea of that. I like the piano layer. Awesome. Well, I'm going to close this, and I'm going to click on this one from Ricky. That was some seriously good stuff, Danny. Right? I know. Isn't it great to see his face? Every single time I see his face, I'm like, Ricky! Like he's here. People that aren't pure fam are like, why do they always get so excited when Ricky comes in the room? Because he's one of the nicest humans you can know. That's why. Ricky is the man. Absolutely. Gray screen, by the way, thank you for the follow. I missed that because we were in absolute stunned shock and awe after Danny's last track. It happens here. Hola, dude. All right, here we go. This one's a little quiet. He hasn't been in it for a bit. All right, here we go. Come on, SoundCloud. Let's just do this. Right. So I got a few things for you here. I like the vibe of this one. It's got like a cool kind of Kraftwerk Devo kind of thing in a few spots that poke out. There's like this kind of darker, almost thriller vibe at a couple different points. I feel like you could pull this in a few different directions and um, um, really get away with just fun. Um, all right, so maybe some swirling delays on that metallic pluck at some point, and maybe something that actually kind of drifts around, like kind of in maybe an orbital fashion, but like a really long one, right? Like maybe it takes, I don't know, like 64 bars or something to make an entire circle or something, right? So you've got a chance to get through like a drop even with it. Um, that stab, the highly detuned one that comes in after about a minute and it kind of continues on through. You might want to play around with the idea of going in and out of various detuned states because as wonky as it already is, I think you could probably push it just a bit further in spots. And then if you juxtapose that with some cleaner spots, and I don't even know that these need to be smooth. You might even be able to jump between them somewhat randomly and catch people off guard. Or maybe each time it changes, if it is abrupt, maybe like a pan change with it or something. Anyway, I think you can play with it a bit more freely than you usually could because you've got this kind of Kraftwerk Devo kind of thing going. Um, and it's not the style of music; it's absolutely the style of sound. Um, so I think that provides you with some kind of sandbox state that you can play in. Maybe some filter sweeps on the whole mix of the drums. I think they could hold up in a song like this. Maybe some cool ring mod stuff on some of these synths around the transition points. I think it'd be a really cool way to spice things up. You know, if you're ring modding at a really low frequency, it's kind of like an LFO kind of vibrato, like low vibrato kind of thing. But bringing it up, you know, it gets all weird, kind of rubbery, cartoony weirdness. You can get some really cool hollowy kind of sounds, right? So you could even, if you wanted to, you could find a cool position for a ring mod on the bass, the pad, and the pluck, right? And they could even be transformed into like a whole different timbre palette together, right? Simultaneously. I don't know. You definitely have a lot of like play room here on this thing. It's obviously early. That first break, dude, super cool organic vibe. I was digging this spot right in here. It actually reminds me of this little drop in this track that I'm working on with Zev. Um, right around 245, you've got that sweet 80s ish kind of thriller vibe going on, and that clap comes in. It's great, and I love the classic straight delay on it, the echo on it. Um, it might be ripe for a subtle pit or filter up, like filter out the lows as it's echoing out. What is it like four echoes strong? Maybe just like a right, enhance that 80s vibe. There's it's a subtle repeater arp that's it's more prominent like towards the beginning and the end. It's just always running in the background, it seems. Um, that might be a really good candidate for something like a shaper box if you've got it, or like an LFO tool or something where you can kind of play with, even if it's just filtering. But if you have a shaper box, even better because you know you can create these re-trigger points and create these really cool little patterns, and then you can just automate the wet dry of the entire mix of it or individual bands. I think that'd be a really cool little thing, because you wouldn't have to change the timbre or the arrangement of anything. You just kind of play with some wiggly interest. Great return after the second drop there. And yeah, like I was saying, it's obviously early. So there's lots and lots of room for like top line stuff, maybe some vocal or dialogue stuff. Something that can be kind of a point of focus. And I think you also have room here still, and it could even be one of these, I don't know if it's like a top line element necessarily, but something more edgy, with like a synth wave or maybe even borderline cyberpunk element tossed into the mix, and I think it would really push over that kind of retro appeal. This bass in here. Like, you could even play with the idea of having some kind of call and response between like that classic, like late 80s electro vibe and like a 303 bass or something. I think you could get away with some kind of play in here. What are these other guys saying? Gray screen, yeah, dude, send in any genre. That's totally fine. Guy, yeah, and Damien is good about pointing that kind of stuff out too. Giving a song a face or like something to focus on. Yeah, that Moogie pluck is awesome. What was the first sound for the delay swirl? That was just it's the metallic pluck at the very beginning of this whole thing. It's like a cross between, like an 808 cowbell and a metallic pluck kind of in tone, but with that you can totally, I would move it around. This thing has such a cool kind of spacey, space out kind of feel to it. I think you can play with the stereo field, and I think that you can play with like the timbre of your instruments over time. I don't think you would have to add many elements to this to really elevate the interest level. Yeah, dude. As always, it's good to hear what you're working on, Ricky. Bring this one back and let us know where you take it. All right, so we've got another one here from Gray Screen. And maybe after this, we'll get back into some beats for a bit. See what else we can get up to with XO. An Electra thing. Dude, this is great. This is great. There's not a lot to really pick apart here. That lead synth, when it first comes in, feels a bit hot. It may have just been the fact that I had stuff turned up for Ricky's track, though. But before I start rattling stuff off here, I'm just going to see what everyone else is spouting off with, so I'm not being too repetitious for you. Yeah, this is just super tight. I don't see anybody complaining about stuff in there. I think it really hits. You've done a really good job with the mixing. The one thing that I wasn't quite sure about was the subtle little vinyl texture that you've got running in there, and it made me think, well, you know, when you complain about something like that, you should probably follow it up with something like an example of some kind. So I'll just give you one really quick. I like using stuff like this. It's this sounds like vinyl on the surface, but it works better in a wider variety of applications because, oh, come on, Finder. There we go. Because it's actually not vinyl. Nature, rain on an umbrella. This right here. It's a bit more aggressive than vinyl, a bit more persistent, and it's easily creamed out to like achieve an atmospheric effect. And I'm not sure exactly what you were using. But you can probably come up with maybe just a slightly better texture that didn't seem out of place like vinyl. Foss, yes, of course. Please do submit your stuff. Always. Don't even have to ask. And I would agree with Imaginate on this one. The overall groove is refreshing. So you're saying, yeah, that's a lack of finding a good way to fill that part up a little bit. Kind of got lazy. Yeah, I'd play around with something like this. The only reason that I focus on that is that this is a very digital tune, right? This is not something that you did not sample vinyl, you know, so it just feels out of place is all. I love that you want to find some kind of organic atmospheric texture to stick in there. I love texture in general, and I love needly little bits, regardless of what kind of music it is. I just want it to feel like it really belongs when it's there, right? Because otherwise it just feels like it's just something that's put there. And everything else in your mix serves a real purpose that also like simultaneously builds and like reinforces the overall vibe. And this was really the only thing that stood out as actually that's not quite the right thing to me. Your filter automation throughout this is spot on. And really nice EQ work. And that's why I'm going to feel a bit more comfortable telling you that if you go back right now and start massaging some of your EQ work, it's already clean, but you can get just a little bit more body and power in a couple of these things. Your bass, for instance, is freaking fire. You've got this sweet little hollow. You've got like the phasing and the hollowness and the like the digital wrapper. Like you've got all of the pieces there. What I would suggest is if you go back, there are probably places where you've made some cuts to some of the elements in your mix to make room for bass, and they've been fairly aggressive. What I might suggest is on a couple of those, bringing those back just a few hertz and adding just a touch of resonance to beef that up in general, and then going in there and finding the sweet spot using a shelf. And I know that this is super, super nitpicky, but this is akin to the difference of taking advantage of the knee inside of a compressor, right? This is like the rate of change or the degree of change in that space where the attenuation is actually being applied, right? And I know that this is nitpicky, like I said, but when you find those sweet spots in your EQ work, and if you zoom in really close with something like this, you'll see, you can see like this very thin crossover point with this kind of swell right on the other side. It's a little bit different than your traditional take on, resonance to accentuate. But it works really well in mixes like this. So yeah, and then, there might be a little bit more that you can get out of your bass too, right? If let's just go back to our default here. Let's say that your bass is, cut like right around 30 or whatever. You can do one of two things. You can actually bring this back a bit because you can get a little bit more thump out of this without like wrecking the clarity, I think. But you can also play around with the idea of going up just a little bit and then backing off your dB per octave curve and then adding a slight little resonant peak there. And really what it does is it bolsters the body, and you're not affecting the frequencies to the right of your focal point the same way that you would with a peak. And I'll explain that really quick. If we put that same size of a bump here, no matter how severe or cautious we are in this, like no matter how extreme or minimal, you can see that the rate of decline to the right of a shelf is just different, right? This resonant peak comes down in a really nice linear slope, and you've always got the same slope on either side with a peak. So it's just a way of giving you just a slightly different a slightly different way to enhance those kind of low body positions of your sounds. Let's see, did I have anything else on this? Yeah, that's really it. This is a super tight mix, and like a couple of people said, it's refreshing. Hope that helps. And definitely bring back more stuff in the future. Would love to hear more of your stuff. I agree with Foss. I think it sounds great. And Foss has just sent something in here. All right. All right. First off, the very first thing that hits me is this is tighter. This is it's more gelled in general than it was. Um, when this bass note comes in, 25 seconds. This one right here. So there's only a couple of things really that stick out in this one to me. The piano element, there's a couple things that end up being, they feel a little bit buried and flat because of the omnipresent noise factor. So maybe sweeping that noise layer with a filter just to make room here and there for more disclosure of piano, even if it's just like a fleeting thing where it comes into focus for just a moment, because ephemeral is fine, right? On the vocals, it's, to me, it's just, it's so close. This whole thing is so close to like what Al Jorgensen and Trent Reznor and these guys were riffing on for a really long time. The one thing that is different in how they do it and how you're doing it is that your the resonant tone backing the vocal isn't moving. It's not tracking a pitch change. So it might be worth just adding a little pitch tracker. I'm not sure exactly how you're coming by that effect. But even if it's just a matter of running a parallel channel with a vocoder on there that you could like ever so subtly layer in under those vocals to get some kind of a pitch change, the resonator effect would, it would go along with that just fine. It would go along with it just fine. It would basically operate as like a fundamental tone, basically, I think. So those were the things that I have on this one. I would find a way to allow for more disclosure, if even fleeting, of elements by affecting the noise presence, maybe just through a simple filter sweep. And then some kind of pitch tracking on the vocal would be super ideal. That said, as this thing stands now, I like it even more now than I did before. I really liked it the first time through. It's a really cool, like old school vibe, and I really like it. It's got like a real genuine edge to it. So Ableton stock resonator, yeah. So on that, are you performing at all, or is it, because I'm not an Ableton guy, so I can't remember off the top of my head if there is a tracking feature on it, like a pitch tracking feature on it, or if there is a dynamic nature to it at all, or if there's a key knob that can then be automated. Because if so, then I think I don't think there's a tracking on it. I'll try a vocoder. Jumps like this is it's very sick stuff. Wish you could hear it better. Have bad headphone in because my other one died. Never wash your earbuds. Oh no! Oh no! Were they just regular earbuds or were they like AirPods? I feel especially bad when people are like washing the newest of the technologies. We've all been there though, right? All right, I could probably squeeze in a couple more minutes of something before I got to boogie into the sessions for the day. So let's see what else we can get up to here. Thank you to everybody who was sending in stuff for feedback today. It's always so nice to hear what you guys are up to. Did we bounce these? Where were we on this one? You bet, Foss. Dude, Will, you too, man. As always, I appreciate you being here. Good luck with the track. Well, thank you, Em. Props go to Foss. He's the one making music. Space Bats, are you trying to say you got to get stuff done? So just by using the sample folders filter, the main frequency, length, and drumminess filter, you could turn any pattern into instant toppers in just a couple of seconds, really. This is nice. And it does not take much to reset the entire palette of hot swap options. I'm just barely touching these sliders, and you can see all of the sounds update in every single one of these cells in real time. So each time I'm clicking here after adjusting these, I'm getting completely different samples. That's dope. I haven't even touched these envelopes until now, and I'm actually really liking the way that they've got these set up. The Haas effect, they've got this Haas effect, which, if you're unfamiliar, this is a like a sample delay that will accentuate the sound in one channel over the other by delaying one half of the stereo signal for a period of time. Absolutely great. Topper. Okay, so chumps, like a topper is something that you add to the core of your beat. So if you have, for instance, a kick and a snare, or a kick, a snare, and a clap, you might put a topper on there, which could be like a single wave file of like shakers, a bell, and something else, and it's kind of twisted up or processed in some way that is fun and catching for the ear, right? It's typically called ear candy, right? That type of stuff. Yeah, this is yet another typically freaking awesome plugin from XLN. Yeah, absolutely. Just finished working out, so you're gonna boogie, get some work done. Nice, dude. What's the next Elements pack, Danny? And you bet, no problem on the feedback, homie. Anytime. I'll try and send you some good taiko sounds. Thank you for the comments on the stream. And thank you for choosing our channel as to what keeps you entertained while working out. Oh man. Am I a telephone effect? You mean me, my voice? Is that what you're talking about? Check one, check two. So you've got addictive keys and drums. Gotcha. Nice. Nice. Well, that's pretty weird if my if my mic is all weird. Is my mic weird for you, for anyone else out there? Oh man. I hope we didn't just uh-oh. Uh-oh. Other people are reporting that it's okay. Uh-oh. Guy, is the drum beat sounding like that too? What is telephone? Come on, Paul, haven't you ever seen E.T.? Oh, okay. Don't laugh, don't laugh. Breaking ears is not a laughing matter. It's kind of like a Fred Flintstone communicator, yeah. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Man, these things are just too easy to crank out. Too easy. Let's see here. I've got more of these. Let's put these in there too. Got an idea. We'll render these. I think we've got something in each lane. Maybe? Maybe? I like this accentuator. That's nice. We're going to hit the random button a whole bunch in just a sec. I'm just going to stick these in that folder over there. Because I'm a big fan of seeing what the random can do. Just trying to stay organized here. All right. Let's take this thing to a different place. Rendering. I'm going to add these to the set 3. It's nice that you can swap out all of the patterns with a single click. Epic. How do they do it? Let's put this one up in 3. Let's move on from this one. I like resonance. I'm glad that you figured it out, Guy. I do stuff like that to myself all the time, man. Thank you for the clarification, Paul. I am Paul and I like Rand, but not Paul Rand. Oh, power nap. Nice, Purple Pros. That's like a superpower right there. Having the ability to power nap. Man. I wish I were Thai. Man, I saw people sleeping in every single possible position on every single surface I had never even considered sleeping upon in Thailand. I quite literally saw people take a break from driving and sleep on top of their car. It's it's so silly. Wait a minute, Guy. Are we in school? Maybe I should quit talking. Rand Paul, Hair Club for Men. Oh, man. Oh, wait. Do you guys have even more? Oh, no, I was scrolling the wrong way. For some reason, my brain went sideways and I started scrolling the opposite direction. Like, wow, you guys are really talking here. I'm obviously tired. It's been a long week. Rand Paul Hair Club for shower drains. He could be the new face of the Roto Rooter company then, huh? Call Roto Rooter. Wash your Rand Paul down the drain. Just have a drink. Come on. Rand Paul Reuter. Have a couple drinks. Come on. Whatever it takes to start laughing at my jokes. How many drinks do you think Rand Paul needs to laugh at my jokes about Rand Paul? Oh, man. Oh, I can't wait to see what you make in GIMP. Oh, man. I'm dying over here. I got sessions today. I'm supposed to be doing some stuff, and what I really want to do is just keep hitting the random button and cracking jokes about Rand Paul, sip a couple of drinks, and just kind of mail in the rest of the day. No, we cannot let Rand Paul slip into Chuck Norris territory, can we? Oh my goodness. Man, some people just really start to lose it at some point, huh? I mean, I'm sure we all do in our own special ways, but oh geez. Some people are very much in the public eye when it happens. Oh man. Let's try to swap this one out here. It's a little bit better. There are so many things to click on. You know, I feel like this is one of those plugins that if you were to actually spend a full production day each day for a whole week in this thing, when you open it back up the next Monday after your weekend, I bet you'd probably realize that there were like another dozen buttons that you still haven't pushed for some reason. There's just a lot going on here. Swinging the whole thing here. Let's do a vintage MPC here. Ooh. It's a dope little vibe right there. killing me, dude. I'm thinking drain the swamp. Okay, actual drain, short and curly hair clog, pan down. Oh, it's just Rand. Oh, man. Why am I starting to get the creeping feeling that our next round of pandemic checks are going to be a little late? Everyone tuning into this channel. Oh, Purple Prose. Paths at the Comedy Club. That's epic. That's quote of the day stuff right there. All right, kitty cats, I really got a boogie. I've got, oh, wait, your daughter got a check yesterday? For what? Just being awesome. I got a boogie. I got things I gotta mix. Got a check for COVID. Man, can she cash that? Like if you get a check made out to COVID and it comes to your home, can you cash that somewhere? I mean, everyone's wearing a mask. It's not like they can tell who you really are. It's like, this check is made payable to COVID. I'm COVID. Get that in cash, please. Javar, when are you on next? I was tracking it, Paul. Now I feel bad because Foss wasn't. Yeah. Sorry about that. I shouldn't be cracking wise about COVID. It's probably a little early still. You missed something. I miss my brain sometimes, Foss. Next Thursday. All right. How often do you stream? I'm going to see if I can catch you while you're on at some point. 5 p.m. Pacific. All right. That's why I haven't seen you. I'm usually wrapping up around that time. Making dinner for the kiddo, playing or something. Guy, you freaking animal. We love you, Guy. Thank you, Purple Pros. Bring out your dad. Thank you, Foss. Awesome. I'm serious about giving me a shout if you want to be just like in the chat. Like I'll just give you a little shout out periodically through the bots. I'll just automate it all. If you guys have not checked out Phosphor's channel, click on his name and follow him so you're alerted next time he goes on. He does this really cool thing where he just randomly gives people shout outs. It's nice. Oh, nice. Nice, nice. We will, I'll check out that stream. Guy. All right. I will see you guys on the flip. Y'all take care. I'll leave you with some funk. Hope you have a great weekend. Stay inspired out there. Make something new and then come back and share it on Monday, will you? We got to keep ourselves entertained. All right, kitty cats. I will see you on the flip. Have a good weekend.